This video specifically is going to talk about your four-wheel drive and what you need for off-road use. So I want to run through all the bits and pieces, and as I'll go through each and every item, we're going to talk about what you really need, what you probably get away with not having, what's a nice to have, all that sort of stuff. So let's get into it, guys. Okay, so let's go. Let's start at the front of the car, and we'll start with the bull bar. So bull bar is an MCC rocker bar. It's I got it from MCC in Dandenong. I think they trade as No Limit. Now, isn't a must-have. I probably say, look, you don't have to have it, but it's definitely going to make life a lot safer, easier, that sort of stuff. You don't need it for off-road work, but if you're bashing, doing any kind of advanced or intermediate level driving, you're going to be bashing through some bush. Definitely going to save you some paint work and that sort of stuff. So I highly recommend them, but not an essential item. If you're going to have a winch, is it essential? Depends what level of four-wheel driving you're going to do. I'd say in most cases it's always safe to have. I haven't actually really used that winch. This is the Rumba 11 XP. It's a very good winch, highly recommended, and it's just, for me, it's a must-have because I tend to go out on my own a lot. So I want to know that I can get myself out of trouble if I need to. That connects to that underneath. You can see there, it's got the swinging number plate. We've got the I've got the Light Fox lights up there. Now we're going to do some night driving while we're here. So if you're going to do night driving, definitely essential. Cruising on the highways at night, definitely essential. But look, it's not a must-have. You can definitely get away with not having any lights. Moving down, we've got the recovery points. Look, as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely a must. At some point in time, you're going to get stuck, and you could probably get away in most cases with the standard tie-down points that are on your car, but they're not really designed for recovery, so it depends on how hard you're stuck. You could do some damage, so I do kind of recommend having these. Is it a must-have? I'd say probably not a must-have, but definitely highly recommended. Bash plates, look, in my opinion, it saved me a lot of grief. Again, depends on what level of driving you're going to do. They're booze bash plates. They're actually, I don't know if you can see that, but let's see if we can crawl underneath, and they go pretty, I've got about, I think, 3 bars there, so they go pretty far back. So for me, level of driving that I'm doing definitely saves me a lot of damage underneath, so I do recommend it from that sort of point. But if you're going to do sand driving or low level for driving, you probably get away with not having it, but depends how far you want to go. Suspension, look, again, depends on what level of for driving you're doing. If you're going to do any sort of advanced level or any serious for driving, I definitely recommend. That is the Outback Armour adjustable suspension. I don't know if you can see much under there, but yeah, look, that's made a big difference in the way this car rides and handles and flexes over some of that rough terrain, and so I definitely recommend it from that sort of point. Essential? Maybe not. Tyres. Now, an absolute must. The amount of people I see going out with the wrong tyres, and sorry about that. So tyres, an absolute must in my opinion. These are by far my favourite tyres, BF Goodrich all-terrains. Do you need mud tyres? I'd probably argue, yeah, unless you're going to do a lot of mud driving, probably not necessarily. But definitely if you're going to do any sort of four-wheel driving. Why? Because they give you the right tread and grip that you need, because they're built tougher to handle the sharp rocks and sticks and that sort of stuff that you're going to come across, and it's actually going to give you a lot safer ride. I do not want to get a flat tire on the side of some of these hills that we're climbing. The side steps there, the non-essential item, but again, it's going to save you a lot of grief if you do come unstuck the odd occasion. So I think they're actually called rock sliders. So level of driving that I do, definitely required. We've got the aerial there. The aerial, Yeah, I'd say that's a UHF radio is an absolute must. If you're doing any sort of touring or forward driving, communication is an absolute must. Do you need a fixed CB? Not necessarily. You'll probably get away with a handheld, a decent handheld, communicating from car to car, but definitely need some sort of communication. Snorkel, if you're going to do any sort of touring, a lot would argue that's probably pretty essential. Keeps the dust out. It's not just for water. Obviously you're going to do river crossings and that sort of stuff. It's an absolute must, but even if you're doing outback touring, keeps the air intake up high, so saves a lot of dust getting through your motor and that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at the top. So we've got this, so at the top there you can see, I've got that in a separate video if you want to have a look, but that's actually my recovery tracks. Definitely a must, especially if you're going to go out on your own. I've got a solar unit there as well, which charges my fridge. I'll show you that in a sec. That's very handy for me because my fridge lives in my car permanently, so that's charging it whenever I'm not driving. So definitely necessary for me, but not necessary for driving. But the recovery tracks, I'd say, definitely necessity. You can store those in the car if you need to. Shovel, definitely take a shovel with you if you're forward driving. You do get stuck. That's your first point of recovery, really. You know, dig yourself out if you need to. I've also got a lift on this, so sorry, going back to the suspension, we've got a 2-inch lift, and yeah, look, definitely level forward driving, unless you want to, you know, especially if you haven't got bash plates, and level the driving that I do, definitely a necessity. Let's look in the back here. I've got my fridge, not a necessity, but very handy. Now look, this is a bit kind of full at the back here because I am camping at the moment, but I'll do a separate video on the fridge actually, but definitely handy having. But is it a must? No. That box there, and give you a bit of a look inside. That's essentially just got spare parts. So I've got some filters, fuel filters, spare oils, that sort of stuff. Look, if you're going to go in kind of remote forward driving and out in the back, it's definitely handy to have. I highly encourage it. Is it a necessity? No. So in the back here, we've got this big box here. Probably seen it in another video. That's got my chainsaw. Again, if you're out forward driving on your own, it's handy to have something. You know, trees often falling down across the tracks, and they're essential. I've got my orange bag there is my recovery gear, so snatch straps, you know, all that sort of stuff. Easy access. Make sure if you are forward driving, definitely got easy access to that. That bag here is actually my pump, and that's just the forward drive super center air compressor. Definitely a must if you're forward driving. That's gonna, you know, you need to deflate your tires and you need a means of inflating them back up again, for sure. Now looking at the car, what else have I got? I've got the iDrive there in the cabin. Essential? No, but if you hate the lag in your car, there's definitely a must. I've got the HX1 HEMA Explorer there. That's actually an absolute gem. And look, you need some mapping, and I definitely say paper maps are your first point. Make sure you always have, but I do say that I probably rely on that a lot more, but I do always carry paper maps wherever I go. And we've got here, I've got a thermometer there for my fridge, so that tells me the temperature. If you are out on your own, spot GPS or some means of communication should you get stuck or severely injured or anything like that is definitely essential. Tire pressure monitor, not a must, but definitely helps. So you know, what is a must in here? Really, probably just the maps. So what are the essential items? Definitely the tires, 100% tires. I definitely go for bash plates, any sort of driving. a winch, very very helpful. You know, not everyone's got a winch, and some will argue they're probably better drivers than I am, but you know, everyone's going to get stuck at some point, and hopefully you got someone that's going to help you get out. And if not, you're going to definitely need that one. Tires, again, the most important thing you're going to have. Got some lights set up in there as well. They're great for camping. I've got one on the back there that's really good for reversing. And there you go, guys. That's about it on four-wheel drive and how to set up your four-wheel drive for off-roading. Hopefully you got a bit out of that. If you got any questions, any want to add anything for anyone else that may be interested, what have I forgotten, what have I missed, what don't I have, let us know in the comments. Really appreciate you guys dropping along. Lovely to have you here each and every week. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We do lots of videos like this and love to have you on board. We'll see you again soon, guys. Thank you very much.